Hey, I'm electrical engineer Ahmed Alamir. I'm Egyptian, and today we will talking about the soft starter. It's a lot of shapes of a soft starter, and like it's a lot of companies which produce the soft starter. So I have a lot of shapes and pictures in internet talking about the soft starter and its types and how it's connected. There is a lot of uh, products which is soft starter depends on these productions, but what we know about the soft starter is its work via the thyristors, but how it's getting in the thyristors to be connected the three-phase motor was qualified and soft starting from the minimum to maximum speed of this motor, the signal, how to transfer the signal, and avoiding the starting current, and what is a thyristor is really have to do. This is our signal when is two thyristors are connected like that, and the motor getting this the current via this thyristors and connectors. What we see here in picture is so important to explain that it's also like it cutting the signal and controlling the signal and the speed through the voltage. How is a volt is beginning when is the smallest or the least, so least signal, then it's getting more bigger, then it's getting more and getting more to reach the full pulling the signal and the speed through the signal and the full speed of the
looks like. Very similar look to a contactor. Most of these are going to go and mount inside of cabinets. The smaller ones for smaller horsepower are going to mount directly onto DIN rail. The larger ones are going to be mounted with bolts to the backside of whatever the can is that you're placing them inside. They are semiconductor, they are electronic, they do need to have some room around them to go and dissipate heat as well. They've got a number of terminals on here as well. A couple of terminals you should be quite familiar.
This bars is a 3-bar with connected to the direct line, 3-phase line, and the output is connected to the motor with a direct connection. And what this rosette for, we have to talking about that a little bit, then get this application for using the simu CAD program to explaining what we gonna say about the soft starter. Soft starter have electronic starter have two parts here. Okay. The first one, this part is explained like thyristors, and the other is the controller. It's a controller part, and it's for a thyristor, and that's for thyristor part. So we have to using this part is to connect to the between the line and motor, and for that is controlling about the speed. And when we doing this, I just chooses a start time and stop time. When it's in seconds, it's like a 7 second for starting, and stopping time 7 second. I have to know that there is two time to selected, like a starting time and stop time. So it should take 7 minutes when I start in this motor, and when I shut it down, it's gonna take 7 seconds for shutting down, choosing also the initial starting voltage. It's like 30% in starting voltage. At least a starting voltage have to be a 30 percentage, and the rated starting voltage is 6. The motor plate name is selected this voltage, and 30 percentage from 400 is a starting minimum voltage, and it takes 7 seconds for reach the maximum, or it takes 7 seconds to drop from the maximum to 13 percentage at least in this. Okay, it's not gonna be okay like that, because we have a problem in CAD simu simulation here, because it's very hard to connect. Now I connect the motor, which is connected like delta in this bar, and connected the soft starter. This part is a thyristor part, and this part is completely controlling part. But why I'm getting this shape, it's like an equivalent circuit for the controlling part. And why? Because the controlling bar is not a program. It's not programmed on the program as CAD simu. It's not like it work or within the right way when I get in this soft starter. So it have just 3 points, and like just 3 is a control part. It's like 3 point, just it's the internal coil which is not found, and the input which is getting by starting point or a starting switch like this, and it's not also represent what the soft starter should do to starting this motor. So I get this equivalent circuit to complete the other points. Okay, to protect the thyristors and the soft starter from the direct connection, we have to connect external contactor to have protection for this soft starter, which is expensive. So we have to get this point. This point is called bypass point. It's not represented here, so the coil is not found. The bypass point is not found also in the soft starter controlling part. So it's get like a problem, and very complicated problem how to represent and how to solve this problem. We have to get this shape. So we just want to try how it work in the simulation. It's like connecting the main armature. Yes, we have two coils. This coil is for the internal contactor of the thyristor, which is the contactor internally working side by side within the thyristor to protect the electronic circuits from the direct connections. And the other coil is represent the coil which is not programmed in this part, which is the most important controlling part for this. Okay, and we had a timer which is by activating this timer. It's a synchronous timer between the controlling part and the timer. There is synchronous within time. It taken 7 or 5 seconds for starting this motor with a full voltage. It taken also 5 seconds to stop this contactor and get a bypass contactor, the connection with the coil of this contactor, which is, we called it bypass point, and it's found in the soft starter with the rail shape. When you say it in the internet for the full picture, you found bypass point. So we have a bypass point here with this black box is represent a real soft starter as it real in our work life. But without this box or this equivalent circuit, without this that time, we can have a bypass contactor for the soft starter, so its thyristors is in dangers, and it may have to broken down when I depends only on the soft starter, also as a contactor. So we have to start right now. It's a power, and this is starting and shut down. It's starting like softly, starting from 44%, and for 5 seconds is starting like it's running for this voltage and rising up the voltage by time, and also this timer is synchronous with the starting software controlling part of the soft starter. So this synchronous have to work together, and when it's done, it's reach the 100% speed. What we have to stand, it's going to close this part, all of this and this coil, which represent the internal contactor, and with the bypass point contact the bypass contactor. So I protect the thyristors and protect this part and soft starter as all from breaking down when I depend on it like a main contactor, not a soft starter. It's like a soft starter. So when on just shut down like that, the motor, it's softly shutting down, closing the bypass contactor, then contact the internal contactor to less the speed and voltage on this motor, like softly to reach the minimum voltage, and then it's done. Okay, we starting 44 percentage and last in 44%. So we standing for 5 seconds, like it's stopping this motor softly, then it's stopped the motor softly, and we just found the motor is stopped. So that's what we can say about that soft starter. Okay, that's connection and this equivalent circuit. I made it, and I'll tell you how I made it. Okay, it's very easy, and why I make it like that, and why this diode is right in here. Okay, this diode separates this timer to keep it out when it not work, and with the timer done, his job, there is no need to keep it connected in the circuit, so it's getting out. But this coil, which represent the internal coil, which is like A1 and A2, it's not found internally in the software. We do this coil to represent this coil internally, which not found, and this coil also is work and stop depending on the internal contactor, which I represented as a contactor real. So without this coil and this coil, it's not starting or stopping softly for the soft starter for the motor. So we can say that is a soft starter without this equivalent circuit, which is represent like an equivalent. It's two contactor between this timer, and this timer is just bypass the other contactor to be the main contactor, and without this bypass contactor, the soft starter is in danger and have to broken down anytime. And as a full solution for this problem, which represent a real soft starter as it found in life. So don't forget sharing and like my channel, and thank you.